Okay, welcome back. It's time we dive into some Silver Tempest stuff. And this one's going to be kind of spooky for the season. You know, we're coming up towards the end of October. Halloween is just around the corner. Silver Tempest pre-releases start the weekend of Halloween. So what other way to do it up other than to play with Gengar VMAX? It's been a long time since I actually had Gengar on the channel. It's been an absolute long time. Over a year probably at this point. But yeah, we're going to take a look at Gengar VMAX. And this thing is kind of cool, but people are going to be like, well, how do you power it up? Well, we're going to look at Lugia VSTAR. I have proxies ready to go for some of this new stuff, so we'll dive in. But don't forget, as always, to like, comment, and subscribe for more Pokemon TCG content such as this. And it also helps YouTube know and tell the algorithm, hey, that these are cool videos. And, we could use your support along the way. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. We're rocking a 2-2 copy line of Gengar VMAX. We'll start with the V. 210 HP single strike. 2 dark for Dark Slumber for 40. Put your opponent's active to sleep. And then you've got Pain Explosion for 3 dark. Does 190 and you put 3 damage counters on this Pokemon. Never really going to use those. You're going to use Gengar VMAX. 320 HP single strike Pokemon with the attack Fear and Panic. It does 60 times the amount of Pokemon V and GX in play. GX doesn't matter unless you're playing Expanded. You're not going to play this in Expanded anyways, so just however many V they have, 60 times. The other attack is Gmax Swallow Up for 3 dark. It does 250, and you can attack the next turn. But if you switch and pivot, you can easily reset that. So in order to get the energy costs fulfilled, we're rocking a 3-3 line of the brand new Lugia V and V-Star. We will start with the V. 220 HP. You have 2 attacks here. Wind Reading. Discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw 3 cards for 1 colorless. And then for 4 colorless, it is 130, and you may discard a Stadium card. Probably never going to use those, because you're going to come in here with the Lugia V-Star 280 HP. It does 220 for 4 colorless, sort of the same attack cost, and the same similar effect. You may discard a Stadium, but you do 220. However, the real star, pun intended, is the Assemble Star V-Star power. Search your deck for 2 colorless Pokemon from your discard pile and put them onto your bench. So, well, I don't know why I said search your deck for your discard pile, but you grab 2 colorless Pokemon from your discard pile and put them onto your bench. So, the colorless Pokemon we want to get onto our bench is Archeops. This is a Stage 2, but we can just cheat it right into play thanks to Lugia's V-Star power once we get these into the discard. The ability Primal Turbo. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 special energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. So, absolutely insane. It has an attack. You could potentially use it to get through things like Miltank and so on and so forth. For 3 colors, you get Speedwing for 120. But yeah, Primal Turbo is going to load all these special energies onto Lugia and Gengar. And to round out the Pokemon line, we are playing a 2-2 Bibarel line, of course, for the Industrious Incisors to draw until we have 5 cards in hand. And no point in ever attacking with Tail Smash, because we just have Archeops that'll do the same thing, guaranteed, without a coin flip. For some supporters, we're playing 4 copies of Marnie for Hand Disruption. We don't want to discard cards, but we do want to be able to put special energy back into the deck. So Marnie is the best choice. If we have a handful of special energy, we just Marnie it all to the bottom, and then Archeops can accelerate it. We're playing 3 copies of the new supporter Serena. You get to choose one of the following effects. Discard up to 3 cards from your hand, and if you discard any cards this way, draw until you have 5 in your hand. So you can discard your Bibarel or Archeops, and then draw a couple cards. And then you've also got the option of switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon V with their active Pokemon. So basically a gusting effect. So really strong card. I expect to see a lot of Serena in a bunch of different lists. And of course, we've got 2 copies of Boss's Orders for just our regular gusting effects for non-V Pokemon in this situation. So theoretically, 5 Boss's Orders if we're targeting down a deck that has Pokemon V. And the last supporter is a copy of Cheryl here to heal all damage from an evolution. You discard all the energy cards, but with Archeops, you can just put all those energy cards back. Easy peasy. On to the items, we've got our default 4 copies of Quick Ball and 4 copies of Ultra Ball. We're also rocking 4 copies of Evolution Incense. This is going to help us find the Archeops, the Bibarel, the Lugia V-Star, the Gengar, and then discard whatever you need for the Lugia's VSTAR power with the Ultra Ball and or the Quick Ball to find whatever else you're missing. In terms of some pivots, we've got 2 copies of Switch and 1 air balloon to reduce the retreat cost. I feel like mobility is super important, especially with everything having a very big 2+ retreat cost. We've got a single copy of Lost Vacuum to remove belts, scrappers, Path to the Peak, so on and so forth. And then we have the last item in here, an Urn of Vitality, to return single strike energy to the deck from the discard. And so this is going to be one of the main ways to keep Gengar alive. So we've got Collapse Stadium for our only stadium in here, just so we can bump a path if we can't find the vacuum. That way we can guarantee our VSTAR power from the Lugia to pop off. And also this is a good way to ditch a heavily damaged VMAX or VSTAR or whatever without having to play Cheryl for the turn if we have another option as well. All right, energy counts. This is where it gets kind of crazy. This is all special energy here. So we have 4 copies of powerful colorless energy. As long as it's attached to a colorless Pokemon, it provides extra 20 damage. So your Lugia and your Archeops and your Bibarel can get cranked up to even higher points of damage with these. So we're playing 4 of those. We're playing 4 copies of single strike energy. As long as this is attached to a single strike Pokemon, it provides dark and fighting, and you do 20 more damage. So Gengar can go up, one of these 270, 290, so on and so forth. So you can one-hit KO whatever between Lugia and Gengar with the energy acceleration and the damage increases from the energy cards. Continuing on, we've got 2 copies of Hiding Dark. This gives a dark Pokemon free retreat. So Gengar, like it states, it can't attack, so we can technically go ahead and just get in there with the Hiding Dark energy and retreat and switch off into something else. Then we're rocking 2 copies of Aurora, just for some extra discard fodder as well. If we have to play these from hand, so we can Aurora and discard an Archeops, or discard and draw down with Bidoof. Sorry, Bibarel. And then this technically counts as anything, so just another different special energy. We've then got 2 copies of Double Turbo. This counts as 2, so this could be retreat cost if you miss your switch or your balloon on some of these, as well as energy for Lugia to get there faster. And the last card in the list is a V-Guard energy. Provides a colorless energy. This is another new card from Silver Tempest. The Pokemon this is attached to takes 30 less damage from your opponent's Pokemon V. You can only apply 1 of these in that situation. So for whatever reason, if we decided to play 2 of these, you had 2 on the same Pokemon, it's not going to do -60, it's only going to do -30. So this is the list here. Now this is where things can get really cool. Lugia, with the single strike package, can technically change things out to other Pokemon. So if I decide to grab them real quick, instead of Gengar, with minor changes, as I find it here, and I should have been more prepared, you could actually play Tornadus VMAX. So this thing has 320 HP, so same amount as Gengar, and it's got 2 attacks, Blasting Wind and Max Wind Spirit. Does 120 for 4. If there's a stadium in play, you can discard it and do 120 more. You do have to discard that stadium, but 240 plus the extra from single strike energy and powerful colorless energy is really insane. And then this gives you access to playing Sharon instead of Cheryl. So keep that in mind. Another thing too you could do is also replace the Gengars with single strike Urshifu, and that'll let you use 1 blow to go through anything. It's got 270 base, and of course you crank it with single strike energy up there. I think Gengar is the most versatile of the 3, since you're drastically, changing the weaknesses out here. Gengar is weak to fighting, and of course Lugia does resist fighting, so it feels like it's a good pair here. If you were to play Tornadus, they're both weak to lightning. There's not super crazy amounts of lightning in the meta, but again, who knows what's going to happen with other people building new decks. We could see potential Regieleki VMAX do its thing and could cause problems for Lugia, and if you play Tornadus and Lugia, just you're going to have a bad time. But I think Gengar is the best pair here in general. You can also play other things like the Little Lugia from Vivid Voltage. We talked about this on this past week's episode of the Gusto Win podcast, we had Hot Chalk PTCG on as a guest. We talked a lot about Silver Tempest stuff that we're interested in and excited on, so definitely go give a listen to that. It's going to be up in the iCard as always. But yeah, here's my first proxied out Silver Tempest list. Let me know what you think here of Lugia paired up with the Gengar VMAX. I've seen a lot of other things with Lugia. We'll probably revisit Lugia after we do a few other deck profiles and once the cards come out. But I'm definitely excited to be able to play Gengar again for the first time in a hot minute, especially around Halloween. But that'll do it for me. Much love. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Pokemon content. See ya!